welcome to GottaBeReel movie reviews with Thommi and Jules. Right now we're doing a classic review. It's one that Tommy's been wanting to do for a long time. Porky's.
Ooh.
Who remembers Porky's?
Soft porn.
From
that was actually kind of heavy porn.
1981.
This is like an extra super duper classic. Because I'm kind of freaky. So tell us, Jules, came out in 1981. Tell us the stars of Porky's.
All right, so it's rated R, of course.
Very rated R.
It stars Dan Monahan, he plays Pee-wee, Mark Harrier as Billy, Wyatt Knight, rest in peace, he passed away in 2011, Roger Wilson, Cyril O'Reilly, Tony Ganios.
Meat, that's the one they call Meat.
Yeah, he's the one they call Meat.
I don't think we're going to need to explain that to you, so.
I know, it should be self-explanatory. Khaki Hunter, Kim Cattrall. That's who everybody would really
very young Kim Cattrall in
Yeah.
here. Very, very, very young and all thin and wow.
She plays Honeywell, aka Lassie.
She ages very well. I mean, looking at from this back in 1981 to now, like when she's in some of the, what's the TV show she's on?
Sex and the City.
Yeah, she ages very well, and she's still the same kind of typecast character, but she plays it well. So.
And Chuck Mitchell as Porky, and he passed away in 1992.
Have mercy. So go on and give us a little bit of a rundown of what this soft porn is about.
So it's set in 1954. Teenage students are determined to lose their virginity. They end up at Porky's where they only lose their money, and then one of them just can't let that go. He wants to get some serious revenge on Porky. And
Porky's is kind of like I like to think of it as a hole in the wall type of place. You can go in there, drink, or get some girls or whatever. Yeah. One of those hole in the wall, and Porky's the owner, and he's pretty much a jerk. Yeah, I'd like to call him other things. He's a pretty nasty man. But anywho,
it's set in Florida, so this Porky's bar is like in the middle of like a swamp area.
Yep. So let me first. I rewatched this, okay? This was a long time ago. I was a kid, so I'm probably maybe didn't quite understand everything when I did see this before. I remember the soft porn. I'm going to tell you right now that they show frontal. I'm not talking just breast. I'm talking about women frontal. I'm talking about men frontal, which is why we are calling this soft porn. I'm surprised this was even on the air. It was rated R, but in 81...
I don't remember it being on the air, but I also was living overseas at the time. So
it came out. No, it came out. Yeah.
But I remember not being allowed to see it, and I don't remember how I did see it or if I just saw parts of it. But yeah.
The stuff in here that makes it rated R, it's not like you go watch a movie today, you see some blood and gut. It's not that. It really is like freaky type of porn. I'm talking about everything. You can see everything go.
But this is kind of an innocent everything. This is not like a waka waka sex scene. Everything.
No,
this
but
is
they
teenagers
do
like peeking at the girls and
which right now there would be a lawsuit on them.
Oh, for sure.
A lot of this
stuff in here. This chick had me watch this movie, okay, you guys, and within like the first 5 minutes.
Don't say the words, please. There's a lot when you open the movie.
N-words,
a lot of racial slurs.
Yeah.
But for them, they don't even think it's a racial slur. For a particular guy using it.
And not just about black people.
It was like all over the place. Everybody. They hit slurs everywhere. Yeah. I didn't remember that, but when I'm watching it again, I'm like, God dang. Did he just say that again for the third time for no reason?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but the movie, it is funny. Okay,
I mean, it's set in 1954, so
and in the 80s, we were getting, especially in horror, we were getting a lot of the boobs and and then come towards the 90s, they started toning it down. So 80s, if you know 80s horror, 80s movies, there's some freaky stuff in here, but this is really, I'm sorry, it's explicit. There's some explicit stuff in there.
Let me do a disclaimer about what we were just talking about with the language, though. It's like, even though it's shocking to me today, 2021, I remember that. You have to remember that it's set in 1954, and that's the way that a lot of Caucasian people talked about other races. Or not, maybe I shouldn't say a lot, but some talked about other races.
They were comfortable with it.
So it's not like it was out of character or really out of place, but it was just a little shocking.
To hear it again for me.
Because I'm watching this old movie that's set in 1954, and the realism was a little too real for me. I was like, that's what we're saying? That's what we're doing?
But there's some super funny stuff in here. I mean, it's one of those classics that, as an adult, go ahead and watch it. You're going to get some laughs.
You know, when I watched it again though this time, I felt like it wasn't as funny as I remember.
Because we understand everything that was going on in there.
Supposed to be watching, so
right.
And so now I'm an adult and I can watch it, and I'm like, eh.
And you know what? Listen, this movie was the highest grossing film in Canada for 24 years. Wow. I mean, wow. As of 2010, it actually went down to the third, having been beaten out by Bad Cop. And then again, Resident Evil Afterlife. So those three have kind of pushed it back. But this movie was like on the top of the charts for 8 weeks back in 1982. So lets you know people were enjoying this. This is also around where E.T. came out and all those good stuff. But this movie was pretty successful with its little nasty self.
Yeah. That's why they made part two.
Back then, it wasn't that good though. It was one of those things they should have just left it alone. And let it go, because it's a classic in itself. If you say Porky's, people know what you're talking about. Even somebody right now that might be 22 years old, if they're a classic
I don't know if
film,
a 22-year-old.
No. If you are a classic film lover, yes, you do. You watch all kinds of different films. So if they've seen Porky's, or even what's the one with the cops? The guy, the human beatbox, he could do all Revenge of the Nerds. Sorry, I was thinking about Revenge of the Nerds. So a lot of these, now that was not
Police Academy.
I was going to that's exactly what I was thinking about. But it kind of has those same formats with the comedy in it, except Porky just has a lot of freaky stuff going on.
Yeah, you talk about freaky stuff. It was originally given a rated X.
I would agree.
They had to take out 2 scenes to bring it down.
What 2 scenes did they take out? I can't even imagine. What did they take out?
That's a hidden secret.
I would really love to know, because there's not anything possible they could have taken out that wasn't already in there.
I feel like you're almost exaggerating. Like, okay, there was some nudity, but come on, like.
Are we forgetting what the dude did when he was peeking at the girls in the shower? No, that is less of the only thing you didn't see in here. Yes, you did. Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
You kind of saw it.
Nope, we saw it. Don't let your kids watch this. That's all we see is Porky. So
it's funny, though. It's funny.
It's one of the classics that I love, despite all the, some of the things that didn't necessarily need to be in there. But again, this was way back then. This is one of my favorite.
And it was set in the 50s when they spoke like that.
Mm-hmm. I would say go ahead and watch it, pull it up. You can pull on any of the platforms. Just if you're a movie lover, it's a classic you need to see. There's going to be so many references. Like when we said the guy Meat, there's a reason why his name is Meat, and all the girls know that, and the ones that have only heard it, they want to know. So
I'm not personally going to say it's one that you need to see, but you might.
I'm saying you need to see it if you're a classic movie lover. There are classic films that I may not necessarily like, but because they're classic and they're movies that will be referenced a lot, or I'll watch them, whether you like it or not. But Porky's is a classic that needs to be in your collection.
Well, yeah, if that's the case, then watch it. Otherwise, I mean, like I said, it wasn't as funny as I remembered it being.
Here is what's funny. Siskel and Ebert called it one of the worst films of 1982.
See?
Okay, Siskel and Ebert, those are classic film critics. This movie was, again, it was some nasty, a whole lot of freaky. It was funny. There's a little bit of violence in there when it comes to Porky's. One of the dudes have it out with him, but it was just one of those moves. I could see them maybe saying that back then, but now after all these years, it's just a funny classic, little freaky little thing. But anyway, we want to thank you very much for tuning in to our review of Porky's. Don't forget, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, we are on Instagram. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.